Blizzard is saving World of Warcraft's story. Yeah, press X to doubt. There is no way they can save the story at this point. They need a full reset. World of Warcraft 2 honestly needs to happen at this point because the story is just it's just over. It's completely gone. It's stupid. It's boring. You know what I did 3 days ago? I played retail and I experienced just a little bit of the Dragonflight storyline while leveling there, okay? And it was bad. I did not pay attention to the texts and whatnot, but what I was forced to see, what I was forced to live through, was absolute cringe-inducing catastrophe of storytelling, okay? You know what? Previously, I said people are calling Dragonflight a pretty good expansion, but people are not calling back. After playing just 2 hours of Dragonflight, I have completely changed my opinion. The reason that people are not calling Dragonflight shit is because no one returned, and that's a boon for it. Because what I experienced from the Dragonflight story was horrendous, okay? And this is how it went. You know the meme of South Park saying put a chick in it and make her gay and lame or lame and gay or whatever? That's pretty much what Blizzard has done to every story element so far that we have seen. And it shows, okay? You know how you start off Dragonflight? You're supposed to go there and you're supposed to get a group of adventurers to go with you. You recruit some kind of shitty looking furry fox that gives you a zoomer catchphrase. You recruit a dark emo elf girl god, which is kind of biz, but that's a different story to be honest. She's lame and boring. Also, all of these characters are one-dimensional, but these characters are brimming with personality considering what you see when you get in Dragonflight, okay? And then you recruit someone else that I don't even remember, okay? And then there's a cinematic that I skipped, and as always, by the way, this has been literally the same deal for every single expansion since Wrath of the Lich King, by the way. It's a trope, and I'm surprised that I noticed it just now, but yeah, you crash land somewhere. The new expansion is you crash landing somewhere somehow. Either your ship sank, your zeppelin blew up, or a magical time portal took you somewhere. But you're in a new place, and now you need to do stuff because you crash landed there. Okay. After yeah, after Wrath of the Lich King, everything did go down the shitter, huh? But anyway, you're on the shore and there's like 50 fucking quests there. It's well, the experience is so bad. There's 50 quests and you need to do some kind of role play gay ass shit, by the way. You need to look through a spyglass. You need to buy a pickaxe and some stupid garbage like that. You're not even doing anything. The Dragonflight expansion starts with you literally doing chores for a bunch of people who are, and this is the bad part, okay? After every single character you meet and everyone that speaks is just one dimensional. It is painfully one dimensional, also. There are no redeeming factors to any of these characters. One of them is a dragon who's like, oh, my life for the Dragon Islands. And then there's a character who's like, young one, don't kill yourself for the Dragon Islands. Your life matters. Okay, then there's all of these characters. I'm not even gonna mention all of them, but there's like 5-ish characters that you kind of get introduced to when you actually interact, and they're all painful. You know why? Because they're just completely one-dimensional trash characters. They have only one thing they talk about. They only have one thing that they care about, and they only have one personality trait. Well, like I just said, oh, I'm gonna die from the Dragon Isles. No, young one, life is precious. The other one is, and that's pretty much it. That's literally it. One is war is good. The other one is war bad. Third one is womanized femboy dragon that's like really, really into, again, it's literally the South Park meme of make it lame and gay. That's what they did, okay? They already did this with the War Within storyline, because this whole storyline of that, by the way, if you did not pay attention, was get rid of evil man, replace it with a powerful woman that knows better and does everything better. Again, The World of Warcraft storyline has been absolute fucking cringe for the past 10 years or something. There are no redeeming qualities. There's nothing. There's just hollow one-dimensional characters. Sylvanas was my favorite character. And then they just ruined her. Yay! I'm so happy.
World of Warcraft's had this problem for a long time, but today Blizzard are actually introducing a solution. Now, as an example, if you don't know what's up with these guys, or this thing, you won't know what's up with the War Within's final patch, or World of Warcraft's next expansion, and you won't...
To be fair, you're probably better off not knowing because it's most likely dumb. Again, the War Within, Salatov got defeated because of plot reasons, okay? A character that can teleport, a character that has been shown to completely dominate everyone else because she's just so much more powerful, got defeated by a random arrow that she saw coming. it's just so stupid and cringe.
enjoy them as much as...
And then they, by the way, made goblins. Does anyone even like fucking goblin-themed expansions? I don't. I hate goblin-themed expansions. Their architecture, their cities, their everything is just stupid and lame. I'm playing a fucking fantasy game. A fantasy... I don't want to see an oil rig.
as you should, as you could. You'll miss the detail, you'll miss the depth, and in many ways, it wouldn't be your fault. Not really. Lore is stuck in wikis, lore videos, sorry about that, and things outside the game. And when Blizzard does do campaigns, they're often blazingly fast, and they're in a tough spot. They can't rely on the depth of Warcraft's world because they know most people don't really have much of an idea. That then waters down the story.
Damn. By the way, all of the new shit they have added to World of Warcraft for the past 5 years is pretty much some kind of magical retcon of, oh yeah, there's actually one guy who went that way at one point, and now there's an empire here. Have fun, doodles! It's stupid. Also, at this point, again, it's like, being a farmer in Azeroth is probably illegal, because every time someone puts a shovel in the fucking dirt, they're risking stumbling upon an ancient kingdom that got lost to the annals of time for some dumb reason.
And that signals to you that you shouldn't really bother. But now we've actually...
And it wasn't just lost to time for some stupid reason, but there's also some random Yahoo who just appears out of nowhere, and he's like, oh, I actually know everything about this. Let me tell you, come a while and listen.
Actually got a proper solution. It's real interesting, and they're not doing it in a one-off way, which is why I'm actually excited. It's called Lore Walking. The beloved Lore Walker show is back, voiced by Jim Cummings. He's still a storyteller, and with this, Blizzard have finally found a way not just to tell you the backstory, not just to show you
at least they haven't done anything panda related, okay?
it, but to actually have you play it. I've also got a bit of a challenge for you. Give me 30 minutes, and with today's domain. In the beginning, Warcraft started with the story being told in the in-game manual and these funny little cutscenes. And the way it worked is playing the game created a hunger. The manual say to that hunger, Chris Mattson got a little bit more power. The sequels capitalized and all that. By Warcraft 3, Blizzard built out a lot. Then World of Warcraft comes in. It blasts the lore open, it crams the world full of quest text. So no wonder the people fell in love with it, got lost within it. But now, for example, assuming we're going to Koresh in patch 11.2, well, to fully...
I'm not gonna lie, I had absolutely no fucking clue what was happening in Classic, what was happening in Legion. I just knew Illidan's the bad guy. And what was happening in Wrath of the Lich King, except that Arthas is the bad guy, okay? Random Troll Empire in Northrend? Okay, fine by me. Why would I give a shit, okay? It was a simpler time, okay? And even then, lore didn't really matter that much.
Appreciate that patch. You would have to know the lore from the 18-year-old quests in Netherstorm, which was part of the Burning Crusade. And this problem is exactly...
Yeah, no one went to Netherstorm. I'm pretty sure everyone hated Netherstorm. Like Blade Rock Mountains.
Exactly what Lore Walking solves, but not in the way that, say, Witcher 3 or Yakuza 0, two 2015 games that recap their massive stories with a big old opening recap cutscene. No, WoW's is actually better. It's a playable recap, but it's not just a rehash of old content. Lore walking is actually adding in narration, new content, and it fills in major gaps. So with that said, let's take a
So
look at the
cool.
first version. Lorewalker Joe is finally living up to his name. You'll find him sitting in the major cities, and he'll take you through a guided tour of the past, catching you up on stories woven through WoW's years and years of questing. So, here's how it works.
Also, notice how he said major cities, which means he's in every city. And that's one of the things that I feel that not classic, but retail detracts from. It's like, oh, there's this NPC that allows you to experience lore things. Oh, let's put him in every city. There's already a portal, and traveling between cities literally takes 30 seconds. But let's fucking put him in every city anyway. It's just, there is... You might as well put an autoplay function in this game at this point, honestly.
A lore walking campaign is a curated selection of quests from throughout WoW's history, with a voiceover from Cho himself that basically talks to you about what is happening and why it's happening. Basically, Blizzard have found a way to take old quest lines and stories, repackage them together, and then run their modern voice line driven approach over the top of all of that. Which basically means if you don't like reading the quest text, that's completely fine. Cho basically, well, he doesn't literally do it for you, but if you listen to him, you get a nice story. You don't have to do all of that pesky reading. So you'll flow from quest to quest without.
Also, boys, vote. Is Arthas a victim, or is Arthas the well? Is the Lich King a victim, or is the Lich King an outcome?
Without getting a whole bunch of filler quests that back in the day would kind of confuse people, or, you know, mixing and matching between doing a random bit of a story, then another random bit, then getting lost, going to another zone, and forgetting the story that you started originally. You basically get to stay on a lovely single state of flow, doing quests that actually matter to your experience.
Yo, listen, I don't think this is fair. Okay, I don't think this is a fair matchup.
All just one story. Now, you get rewarded as well. You'll get some endgame currencies like you do with regular world content, but also some insanely cool toys. Take a look at this. If you want Xalatath as a permanent voice in your ear, sure a lot of people do, well, you can get that. Just experience her story and you'll get that as a toy. And what's neat is it's not just recaps. All 3 available ones have got extra content added, and the Arthas one is probably the best example. It's got whole new playable segments as Arthas. It's really neat. You get new insights into his life as a paladin first, then you run through the key parts of his life in existing quests, you experience the final showdown in Icecrown.
Listen. The reason he's showing this because the other 2 storylines are probably fucking bullshit and dumb.
From his perspective, and it's really quite cool. It honestly feels like a prototype for something new, and hearing that, I'm sure you want to hop in and try it. It actually feels like a new experience within the game, not one that's just make your gear number go up. Pretty cool. Now, the other ones are the obvious World Soul Saga catch-up bits, but they're done quite well. There's one in the Ethereals. It takes you through the original Outland quest stuff, so you do some ancient quests while Cho tells you about Koresh. Of course, he does take the opportunity to give you some gentle little nudges, like questioning if Dementius was really killed that day in Outland. Spoilers, he wasn't. We'll probably kill him next expansion. Cho even takes you further to learn about the brokers in the Shadowlands, and, well, we've done a whole lore video on it, but basically...
Does anyone care? Does anyone care? Who fucking cares?
It's the connection between the brokers and the Ethereals. It's really...
Who cares?
Cool. And honestly, even just the concept of it being just a story that is, you know, retold, but with Cho, that feels really good. I'll leave the details for you to discover. There'll be an upcoming lore video and all of that stuff. But more importantly today, we need to talk about how this can save WoW's story. There's a big...
Okay, hot take. Hot take, boys.
thing you may have noticed.
I think, honestly, what's currently saving World of Warcraft's story is the fact that most people are oblivious to it. If people really understood how fucking bad things are, then people would be leaving in droves. I think the fact that people don't know how bad things truly currently are in the story, in the previous expansions, and all of that shit is kind of saving this game a lot. I really think so. So the fact that people are, and the first part is you actually get to, they are actually allowing people to experience the good story bits, okay? Imagine what happens when people get to experience the good story bits like Arthas, Kill Jaden, well, starts of Kill Jaden, I guess. Illidan and all of those things. Imagine, and after being treated to whatever fucking dipshittery that it's it's not gonna work. Okay, people are gonna be like, "Whoa, the lore used to be actually cool. What happened?" And people are gonna be like, "How did it get so bad?" The only thing the lore walking is gonna do is gonna make people who don't know about the lore be like, "Oh man, things are really bad now."
Notice looking at our footage, right? This is not just endgame. This is available to level 10 characters. You get full XP the whole time you're killing mobs and questing. So I think here's the vision. Imagine that instead of locking fresh characters to the latest expansion, which definitely will cause issues in The Last Titan and beyond, well, use a feature like this, right, to level up your characters. And here's why I think it works in a way that Chromie Time never really could. Chromie Time was a neat way to scale the world down, but you don't
Did anyone care about this?
really get a story experience doing it. I mean, come on, it's so absurdly fast. This, though, feels like a version 2 of that, but instead of being left to your own devices, you get a curated, narrated story experience. That actually feels like a bit of content that's worth paying for. Currently there are 3, we know there's going to be at least one more, and you can't imagine just picking another one and another until you're max level, all just getting brilliant story content. And the potential here is insane. Literally on any topic you can imagine, Blizzard can pick the quests, then let show talk the player through all of them while you get to stay in the flow just doing your questing. And if they want to add in any little lore cutscenes or updates,
Man, since Billy had figured out what flow is, he's been using this word constantly. Kind of funny.
as we've seen them do already, Blizzard can just go and do that. And this way, they might finally do what we've wanted for years. Campaigns that include the likes of raids and dungeons. I mean, with the tech they've made for story mode and this framework, it does feel like this is the start of a storytelling revamp, the like of which we didn't really think we were ever going to get. Imagine, for example, a full Garrosh campaign. Maybe it starts in Nagrand in the Burning Crusade. Thrall meets Garrosh. Cho tells you about the history of Grom. It takes you through the key quests in Cataclysm, where you get to see him unravel, right? Become, well, a bit more like Garrosh. Cho then gets to add in little details about the pressure that Thrall was putting him under. Then you hit Pandaria.
Bro, there's some log in that clip that he's showing.
You watch the fallout of Theramore, you see his madness come to light, and finally put an end to him in the Siege of Orgrimmar in a story mode like fight. And then, of course, you watch Thrall, just hit the execute button over in Draenor. So you could get that, all with no fluff, and with Lore Walker Cho's brilliant voice acting to just give you all the missing bits and tie it all together. Think about that in terms of new player experience. They actually get to see a full story arc happen in the world of Warcraft, as opposed to right now where they're yoked into Dragonflight and don't really know what's going on with anything. And not to fully spoil a project we've been working on for quite a while, but this is
Again, Dragonflight is just the worst experience.
a real problem for World of Warcraft. Having recently leveled a fresh account for a reason you'll find out soon in a video, we just as a team realized that it really does suck for a new player. Dragonflight is not a bad expansion, but going from Exile's Reach to Dragonflight to the War Within is pure insane crazy whiplash. Now, Holly recently talked about wanting to revamp the new player experience. I think this could be a fairly major part of that.
I wonder how good of a job they have done, because when I did my 2-hour play session, I'm gonna play more, okay? But when I did my 2-hour play session, I already I had the speed up, not the speed up, but it upgraded my gear, so I'm not dealing 1 damage, and I got the things. But remember, this is my story from 2 years ago at this point, playing World of Warcraft. I don't know what the fuck happened. It was Shadowlands. Yeah, I returned before Shadowlands and started playing. And I started from level 1. And this was the craziest thing. Undead Rogue. This is what happened. And this is also, in a way, it actually shows how bad World of Warcraft is as a game. And for multitude of reasons. So this is what happened. I was playing it, and, I was leveling. And around level, I don't know, 15? Something like that. I had my first quest that actually offered me a rogue that's using daggers because I'm sub. A dagger reward. And I was like, well, this dagger reward is not really better than mine. And by the way, keep in mind, at that point I was using not basic daggers, but I think I bought the vendor ones from somewhere that were like level fucking 5. Yeah, I'm level 15. I have level 5 daggers. Don't worry, it gets worse. So I finally have a quest that rewards me one dagger that's, green or whatever, but of a higher level. I choose no, because my pants are horrible and it gives me pants. So I take the pants. I'm gonna get the dagger, right? And what proceeds to happen is the fact that I get to fucking max level without getting a weapons upgrade. Yes, you heard it right. I did dungeons. Notably, I remember doing. Well, I did all of the dungeons pretty much at least once. I did all of the dungeons, not a single dagger drop. I did quests, not a single dagger drop. I did not get a dagger upgrade from level 1 to 60 somehow. Okay? I could have probably bought something in the auction house or whatever, but yes, I was unironically playing with white vendor level fucking 5 or 2 or whatever daggers until level 60. And then I went and killed something in Northrend that finally dropped me a dagger upgrade. But before that, it dropped me a mace upgrade, so I went outlaw. But yes, and you know what happened? Finally, after being level 60, doing, by the way, even a couple of dungeons, and doing the new thing with the gear and with killing the Thanos and whatnot, I finally got a dagger. And I was like, holy shit. This is gonna be big. My damage is gonna like quadruple, full or whatever. Because my Gurren daggers were literally like 2 to 5 damage a swing. Not good. And now I have like a dagger. I don't remember how much damage that dagger had, but it was literally, a catch-up mechanic dagger before the new expansion hits type of deal. And I equipped the new dagger. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna go delete some mobs now. I want to see how big my dick is now. Jesus Christ, I just got 5 inches. And I go, and I press Shadow Strike. I teleport behind a fucking target. And I deal barely more damage than with the Divide Dagger. Turns out you can play the game pretty easily with just like a white dagger, a white weapon for all of the game until max level, because the scaling, the items don't even give you the actual stats that they tell you that they give you. I got a dagger that was literally tens of thousands of times technically damage increase weapons wise, and it didn't affect my damage. I like dealt 30% more damage, and that was it. That's fucking horrible. That's fucking horrible. It's a joke. First of all, the fact that unironically an experience like that even can happen. But no, seriously, I was so lucky because I did Veiling Covenants like 2 times, and I did like Shadowfang Keep 2 times, and still no doghead drops. Those places have doghead drops, by the way. It was wild. But yeah, it's like one of the most crazy and insane experiences. I didn't even know that this can happen. I have actually never heard anyone else having a similar story to mine. I fucking think I'm uniquely stupid in this regard.
And I think this could make the modern game story actually make sense to people, and to do that without asking for the dozens of hours that it takes to get the Lore Walker achievement. Because let's be real, a lot of the people who get the Lore Walker achievement have just race through the quest really quickly to get the achievement. They may not actually know all of what's going on. Here, though, you get slices of WoW's best story retold with more flair and in bite-sized chunks that are understandable.
I never actually understood why Halls of Reflection even have this. Like, what? Why is Frostbone just like kind of chilling in this place randomly? Like, how does that make sense?
For the modern day, for the modern game, that essentially sounds like a perfect thing for Blizzard to have. So, what's there is great, the promise is even better, but yeah, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but I gotta say it. We don't always have the most faith in Blizzard following up on potential here, right? Just think about the history. Now, to their credit, they're working hard to change that perception, but the track record is a little bit spotty. Don't get me wrong, they are improving features over time, but that tends to find the most success whenever they fail a few times and then kind of start again from scratch. I suppose my greatest fear with lore walking is that it happens now, and then it's kind of dropped as soon as its immediate utility goes away, because there is a lot of immediate utility to this. Who knows if they'll have Arthas be relevant again, but as for the other two campaigns, well, the Xal'atath one explains a major part of the main villain right now, and the ethereal stuff almost certainly explains the next patch. You can see there's an obvious utility there, so the fear is that Blizzard won't really make these for the sake of making them. That does concern me a little bit, but I only fear that because of Lore Walking's promise, that it could finally solve the problem with World of Warcraft's lore, to take what is not in WoW and actually put it in WoW. And this includes countless huge moments, character stories that people would enjoy, vocal performances that could cut through, and
They could. But I don't think this is gonna help. People are gonna see the old lore and they're not gonna like the new one. That's all. Anyway, that was Billy at World of Warcraft. Nice.